Through the years, many great boxers have come and gone, all having their own strengths. Some boast of their power, others their speed, but none have come close to Mike Tyson when it comes to ferocity and precision. Mike Tyson will forever be considered as one of the greatest boxers of all time. Not because of his awards or personal accolades, but because of his sheer, undefeated energy whenever he stepped into the ring. We've always talked about Mike's wins, his knockouts, his belts, and his riches. But in every success story, there's always a lesson: his losses. But who could have managed to beat one of the greatest boxers of all time? Let's find out. Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas. A night that might have gone down as one of the biggest upsets in all of sports history. Mike Tyson enters a ring against James "Buster" Douglas, a heavyweight fighter with a 29-4-1 record. Having won all 37 of his professional fights, Mike Tyson was obviously the clear favorite to win this match. Ever since his boxing debut on March 6, 1985, Tyson had been unstoppable. A signature power punch, Tyson had become one of the most feared men in the boxing ring during his prime, and he had no intention of stopping. From the first round, it was clear this wasn't a typical Mike Tyson fight. He was all over the place. He wasn't as precise or as dynamic as we'd seen in his previous matches. He swung wildly and never had a full understanding of the game. On the other hand, Douglas was looking confident, throwing very accurate punches at his opponent. Douglas moved easily, waving off most of Tyson's punches, and if he ever came close to landing a punch or closing the distance, James threw powerful punches in return to try to keep that distance. Finally, in round 8, Mike started picking up on his blows, and things started looking up for the champ. His title contending days finally revealing itself as he lands a right uppercut to Douglas's chin, which sends him to the floor. However, a referee's controversial slow count saves Buster, as it all came to an end in the last round.
Now perhaps he's trying to bait him to come in and to relax, because that was the effect of it. Came off the ropes with that terrific right uppercut.
What a shot. Shades of Frank Bruno.
The 10th round started with Mike Tyson delivering a very powerful right cross at Douglas, which, to our utmost dismay, was his last, as Douglas, who was no less tired as Iron Mike, starts the show. A right uppercut to his chin shocks Tyson as he stumbles across the platform, and a string of powerful combo punches end the reigning world champion as he finally lands on the deck, out cold to one of his most painful knockouts in history.
Mike Tyson down for the first time in his career. Mike Tyson hits the canvas. He's in big trouble. He may not be able to recover. It's up to 7 and 8. He's not gonna make it. Unbelievable! 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 Buster Douglas.
Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. A full-capacity crowd assembled at the MGM Grand Stadium to witness the fight between arguably one of the greatest boxers of all time, Mike Tyson, and Evander Holyfield. When the bell rang and Tyson landed a right hand that sent Holyfield skittering across the ring, it looked like the fight might be one of Tyson's favorite first-round knockouts. But the strangest thing happened. Evander Holyfield, the apparent prey, didn't seem to cave in or back down. Instead, he looked rather confident and unfazed, and to everyone's shock, he was fighting back, scoring with quick left hooks to the body as Tyson bullied forward.
Holyfield comes back with a listen to Tyson's head. And it's going to be one shot, and that's it. It's coming close a lot. We've been wondering. Right hand by Tyson that landed.
Round 2 came with another shocker, as Holyfield did what no opponent had done to Tyson since his loss to Douglas almost 7 years before. Force him to the ropes and hit him with a barrage of punches and a powerful left that shook the reigning champion. At that moment, the rounds were already looking set, and the match favorite was slowly shifting to the more aggressive fighter, Holyfield. As the rounds progressed, Holyfield seemed to gain more and more confidence. As the one-sided fight came to a close, the only round that seemed to belong to Iron Mike was the 5th, where he managed to land some clean blows, including his trademark left hook left uppercut combination, which for a moment discouraged the challenger.
Tyson, force, the force of his blow once in 46 fights. Mike Tyson, say if it bears true. Hooked by Holyfield.
Tyson. And Evander has the reach. He should use it up. Came back.
Cut, not looking good. The chance of hold the cut. Ooh, a low blow by Holyfield.
Like the overachieving warrior that he is. I think he was a little more about. Evander holding out.
Comes the knockdown. Now the knockdown is a surprise to I think everybody.
In the 10th round, the inevitable happened, and for a moment, everywhere stood still as Tyson, who had already been stung several times over the course of the battle, suffered about 5 seconds of perfectly timed beatings, inflicting serious damage as a placed counter to the right temple shook the champion. And instead of forcing a clinch, the dazed champion unwisely kept trading shots, and as a result got hit with another huge right that sent him stumbling across the ring, the ropes preventing another knockdown from the contender. Holyfield got home 8 more clean punches before the bell, and as the champion walked unsteadily back to his corner, it was abundantly clear the fight was over. And in the 11th round, another unwise decision was made as a still hurting Tyson answered the bell for the last round. His last, as Holyfield quickly finished him off, the referee stopping the contest with Mike defenseless on the ropes.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever been privileged to witness. Mayhem.
It is Bedlam.
Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield 2. One of the most savage moments in boxing history took place at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. In perhaps the biggest sporting event of the 1990s, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson met a second time to settle the score after The Real Deal. The fight, like the last time, picked up right where it left off, with Holyfield bullying the bully. And not long into round 2, a cut opened up above Mike Tyson's right eye as another roughhouse tactic by the contender flew under the radar. Mike was mad. Late in the round, with Holyfield pushing Tyson backward in a clinch, Mike twisted his opponent's arm in what appeared to be an attempt to disable the champion. But Tyson didn't get the reaction he was looking for as Evander manhandled him in return, shoving him off and showing little regard for the challenger's childish actions. And at the start of round 3, with even more aggression manifesting itself, the challenger charges out ferociously, firing explosive left hooks and right hands. But even after all these dangerous trade-offs, 2 minutes later, Holyfield was still on his feet, still charging in, unfazed by Tyson's short-term resurgence.
Listen. The crowd is turning. A swing and a miss with a straight right by under move by Tyson.
Nice right hand by Mike. He is trying to get that right hand home.
They seemingly are relying.
While all could see the visible anger and frustration in Tyson's eyes, no one could have ever predicted what happened next. The two warriors came together in a clinch, and then suddenly, Holyfield was jumping up and down in shock and agony. a reaction all would soon realize was a bite that had torn off a piece of Evander's right ear. A desperate act from a man who had lost complete control of his mind, his emotions, and his actions. After much deliberation by the referee, he allowed the fight to continue with a 2-point deduction for Tyson.
2-point deduction, the fight will go on. 2-point.
But it wasn't long before Mike was at it again, this time turning his teeth to Holyfield's left ear in another inexplicable act of rage. The round ended in Lane, having determined that a second bite did in fact happen, finally disqualified Tyson, which only fanned the flames of the rage of Iron Mike.
See, look at him. You can see it. You can see it. There it is.
They're going in real slow motion. Mike gets in a headlock. And look at this. He just reaches in and bites him.
And soon, Tyson began attacking everyone in his way in a bizarre attempt to get at Holyfield, an unprecedented scene of unprofessionalism that resulted in countless security guards working to restrain Tyson. With the fight long past its conclusion, fans were nevertheless still on the edge of their seats, taking in the bizarre spectacle and waiting to see what a clearly unhinged Mike Tyson might do next. Till today, this match is regarded as a rather funny, dramatic, and unholy sight, a dent that'll forever be in the champion's historical feats. Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis. Another great upset to Mike Tyson's career was his loss against Lennox Lewis. Everything about this match was dramatic, unsettling, and definitely unprofessional. From the match presets, the match against these heavyweights forced an uncalled-for media attraction. Originally scheduled to be in Las Vegas, the fight was relocated to Memphis after Nevada authorities refused to grant Tyson a license following a brawl that erupted in January 2002 at a press conference held in New York City to promote the bout. And during one of the pre-match meetings, Tyson threw a punch towards one of Lewis's bodyguards, who had stepped in between him and the challenger in an attempt to stop the two contenders from brawling on stage. Later, the heavyweight wrestled to the floor as Tyson was forced to pay Lewis $335,000 after admitting to biting his leg. In the opening rounds, both fighters were about evenly matched, exchanging jabs in the first two rounds before Tyson connected a few blows and a left hook to Lewis's jaw in a few minutes. The contender replied back with a series of powerful combinations that left a cut above his opponent's right eye in the third. It was a mess. Tyson hit the canvas in the fourth, but only for the referee to rule it as a slip. Lewis had already seized control and gradually ascended both in power, skill, and confidence as the usually sharp Iron Mike struggled to gain momentum after another devastating series of powerful combinations by the aggressor. Lewis sent Tyson to the floor, who barely managed to get back on his feet as he was sent to the canvas again not long after, following a powerful right cross blow to the face, a clean knockout.
That's going to be perhaps the end of the fight. It'll take some courage for Mike to get up from that shot.
Mike Tyson versus Danny Williams. A fight that would have ended in the first round stalled to the fourth as yet another loss ramps to its fifth for Iron Mike. In the opening minutes of the first round, Mike was looking sharp, very sharp for his age, with a few jabs, body shots, and a few uppercuts to Danny's jaw, and things were looking pretty good for the reigning champ.
Another left hook upstairs. A left uppercut staggers Williams.
combinations on the inside and tremendously good left hooks.
In round 2, Danny started to gain good ground as his replies got quicker, pushing some powerful punches to the sides of Tyson's head as he started gaining momentum in the ending seconds of the round.
Both of them have been hard. Yep, that party's answer. Williams.
Finally, in the 4th round, another trade-off of punches between the two boxers erupted as Tyson lands a massive right hand on Danny, which seemed to have little effect as the fight wore on. At some point, Tyson's grip of the game began to loosen as Danny forced him further back in the match. His body already feeling the weights of the punches he was dealt earlier, the crowd and Danny could feel the great Iron Mike get weaker as noise filled the arena. And some seconds later, a barrage of punches to the champion's face sends him flying to the ropes. Another crushing defeat for Iron Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson versus Kevin McBride. Kevin McBride will forever be remembered most as the man who retired Mike Tyson back in 2005. On June 11th, Kevin McBride made one of the biggest opportunities of his career when he defeated Mike Tyson at the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. and left the world stunned. And to be very brutally honest, it wasn't much of a fight to begin with. Sure, Mike had shown up for the fight, but he was never mentally present. He was in horrible shape, mentally stressed, and before the bell rang, his famous technique was now his worst enemy. For the first 2 rounds of the fight, McBride was able to keep Tyson away using his advantages in height and reach, and as the fight went on, McBride was getting more and more leverage over the champ.
And you're a puncher, it's hard to be in this posture and make rounds look good.
McBride landed several shots on Tyson in the 5th, and the former champion got so frustrated in the 6th that he tried to break McBride's arm during the tie-up.
Break his arm again.
We've seen this before, and McBride injures
Tyson then head-butted McBride, which cost him 2 points.
the fight. When he messed up both his arms.
We're now in an area where Tyson...
And then hit the canvas at the end of the round when McBride shoved him, which was ruled a slip and not a knockdown. And that was the last official round of Mike Tyson's career. With Tyson refusing to come out of his corner for the 7th round, gave Kevin McBride the biggest win of his career. A rather unhappy end to the hero's career.
It's over now. It's over. Kevin McBride is the winner. Mike Tyson quits on his stool. He's not coming out for the 7th round. It's all over. Kevin McBride has defeated Mike Tyson in a showdown.
That's all for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to tell us about your favorite knockout in the comments section below. See you in the next video with some interesting content. Until then, stay tuned.